Okay, Mrs. Grumbles is sitting right here, chewing on a bone. That's our agreement. She's going to sit right here, chew on a bone. We'll see how it goes. She is definitely tense. I feel like it's got to be the energy. And this is something I think is strange. Because I kept thinking this when people kept showing this path of totality. The path of totality. And I kept thinking, that doesn't make any sense. So the sun is going to go from south up to east. When is it going to go over here? Like, what's that all about? And so I kept thinking, so I kept trying to picture it in my mind, like, okay, so obviously they're lying about how the map is. I already have said that. And how is the sun moving across one side of the country and not crossing over here? Yeah, I mean, we have a light source out there, a luminary of some type. I think it's pretty overcast. It's pretty cold and overcast and rainy, but still. And anyways, but what set me off with this other guy doing a video, because see, once I get somebody else thinking the same way, it's like, yeah, like what? As I kept thinking, this makes no sense. And I kept trying to see, okay, so it's the planet that's going, like I kept trying to figure out like how is it going like this, and everybody's gonna see it this way, but the sun's going this way. Like, how does that work? And so this guy, he is in Arizona, and he was showing the road, and he said this road runs east to west and north to south is the other. And he said that's how everything here is set up in Arizona. I don't know if it's just his town or all of Arizona. But so he was saying that the sun would have to be going along this path. How would it be going? Anyways, he started talking about the path. Didn't make any sense, and what that they were saying didn't make any sense. And he is like, I don't know what you guys are looking at over there, because there is people like, this is wild. Okay, so this is what I started thinking. Okay, so this is about the awakening. You gotta remember what's really going on here. All this craziness, like, that's why you got to keep stepping back in observation, because all this craziness is about awakening. So I was like, okay, so that should, I don't know, it hasn't yet. I mean, that guy, but I couldn't have been the only person who kept thinking, like, how is the sun? Like, why isn't it going that way across the country? Why is it going this way? Like, but I kept thinking, okay, well, maybe I just don't understand eclipses or something. Like, I don't know. But it really is weird. And then, so there was all this spraying going on, which, there was already that threat. There's been a whole bunch about this threat. And they will always turn around and blame it on somebody else. Like, oh, China, they sprayed something on us, or Russia, or whatever. They'll blame it on somebody else because they were spraying the shit out of the skies. Like, there was so much stuff. And so that one person was like, her brother was coming over for it. And she was like, from a different state. I didn't think it would go along. And then he said something about seeing it. And she's like, I don't know if we're going to be able to see anything. They've been spraying the sky so much. It's really covered. And he's like, what are you talking about? And so she started like, well, like when you look out in the sky and they're spraying, and don't you look out in the sky? And he's like, no. And she's like, you don't ever go out and look up at the sky or anything? He's nah, not really. See? This is why it's the awakening. People are just like on autopilot. And then the smaller they make their lives, like the smaller their lives become. And so we got that part of the awakening, because they've been so busy spraying. So how many people went to go watch? And then there still is the whole threat about that they had said that there was a sickness that was sprayed, and then that they would get sick in a few weeks, and it would be an impact then. So, still is that waiting. And then there's still, there's one thing too, in all of the different videos I saw, the huge issue, they keep calling it sundog, but I call it Nibiru. But this huge, huge shadow behind the luminary. But the luminary could be in front. You know what I mean? They're stacking them. They're just turning them on all over the place. And who knows how we're really situated, you know? I mean, nothing ever makes sense. That's probably why they had like Eastern time, Western or Eastern, Central, Mountain, and then go back to West because it jumps back and forth in there. Like, it's weird shit, man. So, and I don't know if I already said this, but this guy had found, oh yeah, because about the clock thing, but I don't remember if I said about the guy who found, you know, all his mom's old stuff. He found these old Mayan calendar kind of things. And this calendar thing that she had ended in 2013. But, you know, since they, for how long, like, how do we know what year it is? Like, how do we even know what year anything started? Like, there is some reset in there. And I don't know if they just, you know, hooked us on to a time before us that has already ended and then tried to link us to it, or if there was remnants from it, or, you know, I don't know. But I definitely don't think that we have like a linear time situation that extends for a very long period. Like, I think we are kind of like, I don't know if it's a few hundred years, maybe 1,000 years. I don't know what is in this slot of time. It has to do with the ages too, and what plays out in that age. And so, you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I do and say something that I don't know. But so in the time thing though is the I keep feeling like it is intense energy. No fucking hell about it. Like, it's intense. And so, okay, let me get my shit together. Okay, so let's see. So okay, still, she's very distracting. Look at my arm. Honey, just lay there. See her big precious nose. Oh, little. So the people and I'll capture what I was thinking about. So it definitely is waking people up with, I don't know when I'll start hearing more people talk about, like, that's weird, like with the map or something, because I think there's a lot of stuff we'll wake up about that. I don't know what time they're starting to shoot off the rockets at this thing or where that's coming from, because it's like way up in New York now. So if they're shooting rockets from Florida, like, there's nothing about it that really makes sense. And then the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air. Okay, so, and they already knocked that bridge down. So the people, the people are all outside. And so, yeah, it could make them sick. And then that's going to be, you know, a wake-up call. But and the weird travel. It's just the weirdest thing to me is how big this is. Like, I swear to God, has there, like, it seems like there was an eclipse a long, long time ago to me that was like really big in my life, where it was like, you know, all these people want to go out and see this eclipse. And it used to seem like they were super more rare or something. Now it's like, didn't we have one of these recently? Like, what is the big fucking phenomena? And don't you just look online and see this stuff? Like, everybody's got on video and stuff. And so, I don't know. It's very strange for how big of a deal they're making it out to be. And then, I was like, it could totally be like a distraction. Like, I saw one guy who was doing some like push-ups with one arm and said, this is what the eclipse has done for him with his superpowers or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe it is giving people superpowers. I don't fucking know. Seems like I'm just excited that we don't have an earthquake yet. I just want to get through the next 2 weeks. I'm on a countdown here. Like, once I get home, then, you know, I may have some little things hanging from my, these little uh, tube things. What are the drain tubes? These little drain tube things hanging, but fuck, I mean, you know, I'll just be prepared for whatever is to come. I was already thinking, like, okay, so if there starts being God dang, Stella, if there starts being an earthquake, like now, um, like big booty girl here, earthquaking my camera, that, and the trees start wobbling and shit. I was like, okay, where in the house would be the safest? And I think like back there. So I think I would just go to the back of the house and then let the quake take down whatever goes down with it. Because I don't know. I still know that stuff's coming. Hopefully I'm not going to be here when it comes, but I don't know. The earthquake guy who was predicting that there was going to be a big one over by, I think over by New York. No, over by the Carolinas. There's going to be a big one today over by the Carolinas. And there's going to be one, it's going to start the Cascadian Fault, which would be over here where I'm at. And the, his name's Dusty or something. He has a YouTube channel. And so I guess a bunch of people watch him. And he's not like guessing or predicting. He's predicting off of science calculations, and he keeps being super accurate. And then he did a bunch of videos talking about it, and he shows, you know, how he's figuring it out and stuff, and following like seismic activity and how it's moving and all this stuff. And so he had a bunch of videos and predictions and stuff, and all of a sudden they were wiped, and all his videos were taken down. And then some of his followers were like, he wasn't able to go live. So it's like, oh, that's what they do. They take away your stuff. They say, oh, you can't put those videos up there, that's false information, take them down. And then they put you on restriction. You don't get to say anything. They just cut you off your account and just remove videos. They just do what they want. It's total control. Like total control of our information all the fucking time. And it's just been something that people have accepted. I was just watching this Lifetime movie. I'm really on a bender on the Lifetime movies. And this one, and this had Annie Potts on YouTube. And I don't know what year it was. It was definitely older. I'm trying to think of who else was in it. Oh yeah, it had like, what's that guy's name? I can't think of his name. But it had, so it was an older movie. I would say like from the 90s or something. And it's about, and I think it was like when the internet first kind of started, and they started catching the pedos in the chat rooms, hitting on the girls, and she was involved in an undercover sting operation to bring a bunch down with the FBI. One guy who got busted was like a big CEO. Then the FBI came and took all of the information on him, and I was like, they're taking the information because they protect these people. And then they start saying, like, this is where they come up with these rights, like, oh, well, we can't go against their rights. Oh, they can go against ours. Oh, for some, that's what their whole judicial thing is all about, is protecting them. And they can protect theirs and go for ours. So it's ludicrous. And that is part of like why we all have to wake up and see the absurdity behind how they try and get us to conform and live our lives under their rules. And it's aggravating once you see. It's like you want everybody to wake up. You stomp and scream and go crazy. I picture myself stomping in a rain puddle, screaming and crying. Oh, please, everybody wake up. And then you realize, like, nobody is. And you're like, what's going on? Where am I? What is this place? I'm in hell. And then, you have to get going deeper. And that is when you start seeing like, oh, okay, I'm being triggered, so I'm supposed to work on this. This is what I'm supposed to work on. And then I've always gotten the message, oh, don't you worry one little bit. They're all going to wake up. You see, it's coming. It's coming. And that is, like going out to try and see it if you haven't been aware of all the spraying, and then you look up, because it was extreme. There were so many videos of people putting videos up of it. It was extreme. And there were still some people who were able to get it. But then, like that other guy said, like, what is it you guys are catching up there? Because, I mean, they got a lot of luminaries. And there's this other lady, and she's been on YouTube for a long time. You might know who she is if you're into ufology. And she, I think she has a pretty big following. Seems like her name starts with a G or something, like Ginger. I can't think of it or see it or something. And she has short hair and she wears glasses. And she does videos. And it seems like when I had first seen her, she was showing, but I mean, this is just when I first saw her. I don't know, like, you know, I don't keep up with her and I don't know where she came from. But she was showing spaceships coming out of the sun, is when I first saw her. Anyways, and but her channel became really big. So, and she's always looking at stuff in the sky and showing ships and stuff like that. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you probably know who she is. But there was a volcano that started shooting up smoke, and so she went in and was looking at that, and she was capturing the spaceship shooting straight up. She said, that's not, that is, these spaceships are down inside the volcano. Like, if the volcanoes are some kind of portals from other worlds and inner worlds or something, or if they can use those as a traffic system or something. Like, everything is much different than we know. Like, there was another guy who had a big door shut, and he climbed up, and it does look like a big door on the side of the mountain. And then you don't know, like, I mean, it could be a giant too. Like, and I'm seeing more videos coming out of, like, giants in other countries. Like, this one guy, a video that's going around, and he is like, the people who are standing next to him are like half his size. They like come up to his waist. He's like so tall. And that is all like this, like these different DNAs. That's one thing too. When people start really realizing that some of the most unique people that we have here have like certain DNAs, like that, some other people be like, dang, I wish I got some of that DNA. Where before, they look at him and go, God, what a weird looking person. God, they're weird. And then when we start really understanding what's going on here, and then they're going to be like, oh, wow, this person is so special. So there's going to be a lot of flipping one's understanding, seeing things way different. And whatever's going to go on, we're in this process. And I know it is going to be an abrupt part. I still don't know, like, it could still be the earthquakes. It could still be something today. It could still be them shooting their fucking rockets up there. And who knows what the hell's going on with CERN, and why all of those CERN employees, not the ones over in Switzerland, but the ones over here, like by Tennessee or something, where these other outlets are, that I think the one was in Texas. I'm not sure. But they left the whole town closed up because they all worked at the same lab place. And so they all closed up and decided to go on vacation, even though they were in the area that was going to be. So that's weird, which, there is definitely things going. But it seems weird, like they're trying to get people to, like, they're always trying to get people to focus on, and I don't know. I mean, there was even an eclipse festival in Texas, and then they closed down the festival, which the people all got mad. So right before the eclipse, they closed down the festival. So, and it was a huge festival. I saw a clip of it, like, live or some kind of thing. It was a big music thing, had all sorts of stuff. It's like, this is so strange. But everything is about the awakening. And so everything that is gonna, anything can go on. But those kinds of things could be like, maybe the bad guys had like really bad motives, and the closing down something was more of the good guys trying to diffuse situations. But there's going to be certain situations that can't be diffused. Like, I know that they're trying to diffuse as many as they can, and but there's still going to be some, because that's what changes humanity, is this thing, whatever happens. And you can see, I mean, you can still see people are just like, you know, I won't say walking dead. It really is like they don't live their own lives. They're just like game pieces. It's like they're just part of what keeps the structure of the game going. And you have to pull free from that. You know, you have to pull into your consciousness. And then once you get there, it's a lot to face. There's a lot to face when you have to finally meet yourself. And that is, you know, we still have that. It's going to happen. Everyone's going to meet their maker. The maker of them is them. And they're going to meet that maker. And they're going to look them dead in the face. And they're going to feel nothing but disappointment in themselves. And that is going to be this thing that is, that moves humanity in the right direction. Because that is what people have to do, is to face themselves. And that is what makes all these changes. But there's events that occur to promote or catalyst, like catalyst events in order for these things to occur. Because these things actually will occur. You know, all these changes that come, because it's hard to imagine when you look around at how some of these people are. Like, I can't even believe, I'm like, I think TikTok is annoying me so bad because it's like pushing me off. It's just like, but then there's a sense of boredom, which I know I've got to just fill this boredom with something else. I got to find, but it's also my connection to see what's going on out in the world. But sometimes to go on is frustrating, it's sad, it's emotionally draining. And I'm real sick of the hard sale, nonstop hard sale when you're on. It's like, oh my God, dang. This is like going through some sort of car mart or something. Like, to go on social media, it's just like they're coming at you all the time. Oh, this is what you need. Oh, you got to have one of these. Oh, guess what's on sale? It's just like, oh my God. And then in between, you get, you know, these people who, or somebody who, their dog, I maybe weighed 1 or 2 pounds. This tiniest fucking dog that was super old. I think they figured it was like 20 years old. And they threw it on the side of the road, left it because it was dying. No dignity. Like, how was this dog treated? Like, fuck, dude. And that they, you know, somebody rescued it, found it, rescued it, took it back home and cleaned it, and lived, I think it lived like 12 or 24 hours or something. But they gave it, you know, love. God, it's so sad. I called the Wyoming Game Patrol, as they, you know, the people were all asking over the wolf situation. And so I called, and that guy was just like kicked back, just like you just see this guy with his feet up on his desk just talking. Yeah, I know, this is very, very frustrating. Yeah, this is legislature. It's gone all the way back to when they were first settling out here. It's like, I'm such an interrupter. Oh yeah, you know what? And I was like, I probably sounded like some sort of Baptist preacher or something. They will fight. They will have they'll pay their price. Whatever. I can't do it right now. But like, whatever I was saying, then it was coming out. And it is true though. Like, it's sad. It makes me super sick. And there's no, you know, they said we'd have to go through legislature and change legislature, that they are allowed to, because during the time when they were settling and they were putting in farms and ranches and whatnot, that the animals would come in, predator animals would come in and kill their farm animals. And so then the farmers were allowed to kill the animals. But so, you know, it's okay, you know, if you want to torture them first, You know, we forgot to add in that we didn't want you to do that. But since we forgot to add it in, you know, you have the right to do what you want, I guess. I was like, oh, okay, so you're just going to blow that off and let that guy. So how many more psychopaths are going to be coming in? You know, that's a precursor. If you want to watch an animal be hurt and mutilated, the humans next, like, you got to put a stop to this. And then they said, well, it would have to go through charges through the DA's office and stuff. So anyways, you can call them. They'll chat with you and talk to you all about how sad it makes you. Makes them pretty sad, but, you know, there's nothing they can really do about it. And they aren't allowed to go to the big meetings. And the big meetings, see, it's these CEOs, it's these corporate heads that are inserted into our world that are allowing these crimes. Those people, that is what I'm saying. There's people who have family members that had these like fucking good job, man. CEO of this, you know, administration in there. And they think that, you know, this person's making bank and has a great job, and it's going to, you know, it's going to come out. There's going to be people who are going to go down for jobs that they thought had good job because of either the orders they put through, sign their name to something, like there'll be all sorts of things because there's just all these crimes against us, and they're all coming to the surface. I mean, there was people who were, you know, participating in it, even though they didn't realize what they were participating in. Even if they thought like it was more smaller, it's about to blow up. It's going to be real big, and they are not going to see it coming. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot that goes on about that. And who was that too? It was somebody was talking about a prediction. Was it Edgar Casey? Or was it, I don't remember what it was. I was like, you see some of these videos, but it was saying in, up until, from now until like 2027, I think, I swear it was past 2025, that it's going to be a lot of upheaval, a lot of chaos, a lot of things falling apart. But then all of a sudden it is going to be like 2027. We're going to just go into this time of peace. But see, you got to remember what's going on. This is the purging out of all this energy. And it's ugly. People carried this energy. This energy wasn't just riding in the planet. It wasn't just up there in the Illuminati place, you know. It was all over. The people carried the energy. They rained it on us, and some people slurped it up. They didn't care who got hurt. If they got money, they didn't care what happened to other people if they got what they wanted. And that is going to be consequences to that. Even though I sound kind of like a psychopath, like, don't have any earthquake until I get done with my surgery. Then everything can fall apart. It's like, it's all about me. But, you know, I mean, what are you going to do? I don't even know what that was. So, I'm gonna have a heart attack. But then I'm just gonna get up and go, oh, that didn't even hurt. Oh. Wait a second, let's shut it. This morning, the one tree that was down, they've been out there chopping it up, like chainsawing it, burning it, and all sorts of stuff. And it still is a giant root system thing that pops up. It's a big that could be what was a big noise just then. But then this morning too, there was a cop going by, which is really unusual for cops to be in my neighborhood. So I just know everything is intense. Like, Stell, it's fine. It's just those tree guys. Oh God, she's gonna make me go up there and take her and let her out. So it's fine. Then she's gonna go back and forth. Stella, just come and lay down. It's fine. See how she's so dramatic. Come Come here, please. It's fine, honey. They're all gone. They're all gone. They're all gone. They're all gone. Okay, so, I was saying something about the people. Stella, please. The people having to stop. Okay, the people having the good girl. Thank you. I know it's very intense. The people who, God, it is so hard to keep dry, and I keep having like bad headaches, and then I keep thinking I'm sleeping wrong, but then I see other people talking about they're having headaches and feeling dizzy and all this stuff. Oh yeah, and I've had this Jenny on the Block stuck in my head for 3 motherfucking days. Like, I give a fuck where you live, and it's nonstop. And so then I was like, okay, this has got to be that skull to brain frequency weapon that they do. And I was like, there's got to be more people. It can't just be me, because this is ridiculous. And so I put that on, and there was other people who were saying that they were getting Jenny from the Block. And then I saw another guy do a video, and he said, did anybody else get up and have endless love stuck in your head, like out of the blue? And so I do think that there is something, and I've been getting hit with like really high, like loud frequencies. Like one a little while ago, it like penetrated into my ear. It made my whole ear hurt. And so I think that there is a lot of stuff going on. Oh yeah, about the everything being an upheaval, and then everything going into this time of peace. But this is all about this purging out all of this energy. And that's why you have to do this self-reflection, why you have to go in and be honest with yourself and look at yourself and see the parts you've played. Oh yeah, because it was this lady, she's a doctor, and she had an NDE, and I think she's written a book and stuff. And she has a really good one. And Dr. Moody, he was my person who I originally started reading. It was like way back when I was reading Shirley MacLaine. I was reading Dr. Moody, and he was doing near-death experiences of kids. And I know he did some of adults too. He has a bunch of books. And so he was like so impressed with how thorough hers was. And I saw her telling some of it this morning. And so there was a bunch of really good stuff in it. But one of the things that, well, there was a bunch of things that to me were like confirmation over stuff I say. But one of the things was what she was saying about what you're doing here, about learning how to love yourself and get yourself on that more positive timeline, to pull yourself in that timeline, and how you have to face all of these things about yourself in order to heal and grow. She says all this stuff that I have been saying. And so I know that this is right. I don't know what all these other people are talking about. Like, whatever they're all saying, I think that they're going to wake up and find out. Like, I think there's a lot of people who are not really tapped into their spirit and listening to this. They're still in ego or something. Like, I don't know. You know, I can't speak for them, but I can tell you that that is what is going on here. Everything that is going on is about this awakening. Once you're awakened, you can step back and you can watch. You don't have to just keep being in there and being like, well, I'm going to be punished. I've got another lesson or something. Learn your lessons and step back, and go in the flow of your lessons. Don't get brought down by your lessons and stuff, because it is what you witness is the people who are still trapped in the three-dimensional game. I mean, they're playing as the player, that they do get burdened by the life situations that are going on. But that is supposed to be to push them to wake up. So it's supposed to go that way. And oh yeah, because even with that wolf situation. It is so fucking heartbreaking. And I don't know how, like, I can't even stand on TikTok. I'll just seeing all these poor abused animals and their eyes. Like, how can anyone look into these eyes and not see a soul in pain? Fucking desperate pain. It's fucking, oh man, I cannot believe the cruelty out there in people. It's like, what in the fucking hell, man? And the thing that I keep trying to find peace with is just knowing that in order for him to do something like that to that animal, he has to be spiritually connected to that animal. That has to be a spirit animal for him. Even though it's like it turns your stomach to think about this. And it probably has been back and forth where they've killed each other. And then there's probably been time of good experiences, but there's big lessons in compassion and stuff like that. And I don't know what retributions are going to happen to this guy. Like, to me, he should get a fucking grizzly bear and go get him. But I don't know what the universe has in mind. I mean, it's his story. It's not for me. Like, it's not for us to sit back and decide. Oh, the stories are written. And, but that wolf is there to teach him, because you have to face yourself. You can't get away from it. You have to face yourself. And so he's going to have to face himself, and you have to go through the cruelty that you put on somebody else. You have to feel that cruelty. You have to feel it is like I think to go and hurt things or people or something on purpose, yeah, I wouldn't want to feel that. Like, it's one thing to do something unintentionally to cause pain, but it's another thing to intentionally, when you're going out to create pain against another soul. And so anyways, I just have to keep telling myself, like, okay, this is a powerful soul that he did that to, and this is a soul that was willing to go through that to teach this guy who seems despicable. But obviously the soul had worth to the other soul, because that's how it works. So anyways, but that is what everything is about, this awakening, and where things keep being absurd. Like, how many people have been talking about this eclipse and how the sun is going up. I just keep on trying to, like, wrap my head around how it goes like that. Like, where it just doesn't make any sense. And especially like 4:30, so it's like over New York, it's 1:30 here, it's over like New York. Well, what? Like, would be right here above us. And okay, I just don't get it. All I can say is that some of this stuff I think is just like brain teasers to just get us to be like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait, like, if we, okay, wait, I mean, all this awakening is like, because our whole life has been made out of a lie. Everything's a lie. So, and they're still lying. The lies aren't stopping. They're continuing. And the only thing I know is, like, I don't know when they're going to do things or how they're going to do things. I just know certain things are going to go down. Like the banks, the medical, the government, like those things are going down. It's the end of their era. It's the end of their time. So that is going to happen, however it's going to go. And I mean, to me, that sounds like good news. Everything will be wrapped up by 2027. Good. Like, hallelujah. So if we can, but we got to have, it's like drive and ambition to survive through this. And so many people don't realize that the drive to survive is going to be the facing yourself. It's difficult. It's very difficult. And it's going to create a lot of anger, a lot of blame, a lot of resentment, there's going to be a lot of stuff that is still going to purge out once this all starts going. And but for some of us who have been, we've done the work, we're feeling good, we're in observation, we are going on our best time. Like these people haven't gotten there yet. They're just starting to roll with it once they start awakening. And, and it's a process for everybody. Like, it's not just one event that's just going to shock everybody awake. We've all had different events. And some of our events were very, nothing to a lot of people. Like to mine was when during 2020, when, Donald was going live every day. And I knew that they were lying about the sickness. And so I would tune in. I was trying to catch them, oh, I knew it. See, oh, and that is what I saw. And then I picked up on he was getting them on tape. He was getting them saying things. Like I could read how he would ask things. You could watch his body language. You could watch how I'd say, well, so are you saying this? So are you telling me like this? You're sure about this? He walked him right. He didn't walk him into it. He just allowed them to reveal themselves by asking questions, innocent questions. And so anyways, and then what was double the whammy was when I saw the news reports about what they were saying he was saying. That is when I was like, oh my God, the news is fucking lying, man. Like fucking straight out lying. That was like you really wake up. It's like, what? And then when you try and talk to family members, then you start seeing like, oh, okay, so you watch this news. So you're getting your information from, okay, I see. Like you start picking up on where people's information is coming from. And you start seeing, and then even when you try and point it out, because fucking on Nextdoor, I tried pointing it out to Matt Savage, Ted Royal. I tried saying like, your information is tainted. You're not getting the whole picture. You're stuck on one little thing. And, when I was experiencing that with so many people, but you try and point it out to them, and they did not know what you're talking about. They would just call you crazy racist, I would be called Q Kelly, all sorts of stupid ass shit. And I was just like, what in the hell? And people completely fight against waking up. But then I started realizing, oh, this is because they've got this much darkness inside of them that has to come out. So it's like they're digging their own hole. They're digging their own grave. They're scratching all the dirt so that when the tables flip, when the sun, really comes on, when the lights show the truth, that then they've got a nasty mess there. And so that's when I started seeing, and it was hard when I started seeing it, like in people that I cared about and stuff. There was times I'd be like, okay, let's just not talk. It's like, I'm trying to protect them. Because it was like, man, you're going to get yourself in such a deep hole and you don't even see. But it's like, I can't, then you're doing them a disservice. Although I'm not really talking to anybody, right now in my family, my mom a little, and, but, I know my daughters did ask me how things were going. So I'm not really talking, and I know it's temporary. I know that it is a part of like, I can't keep talking to people who don't see me. They don't see me. They don't understand me. And they have to wake up and see, I don't know where their idea, I've got my ideas of where their idea of me came from. But whatever it is, or wherever it was formed, it is, it's old. It's not who I am. I'm different. I've grown. And, if, I can't be held back. I'm not going to be held back in the past and having somebody keep bringing me down and keep, you just look at me as a failure, then that's okay. That's fine. But I don't have to participate. I don't have to sit there and, beat myself down and take that. And, if you look at me that way, then what are we talking about? Like, why are we talking? Like, so anyways, but I know all that stuff is temporary. Like, things are going to make big shifts, and it's going to make people reevaluate how they were looking at things. not just like reevaluating like the people they've cut out of their lives, but it's going to be reevaluating everything of like, you know, why they looked at things the way they looked at, how they see things. And it's going to be like a whole new world, like a whole new world is going to be opened up of, 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 perspective. But the thing is that people get so stuck that they have a hard time opening their minds to new perspective, especially like what we have going on here, you know. I mean, all these people sitting around waiting for Christ to return, and it's like Christ is returning inside of you. It is like you connecting to your soul is the return of Christ. That is the return of Christ on the planet. We all return to our souls. We start living through our souls and no longer living through the gameplay 3D character that you created. You have to go through and break down that character, see where she came from. Why did you make her the way you did? And then this is also, though, there's only going to be like a certain group that's going to start doing that. There's still going to be a group of people that are stuck, you know, in denial, or and I think it is a lot of it is going to have to do with not wanting to face themselves. That is the hardest thing to do, is to face your own self. And especially in a world where people have been doing hurtful, harmful things. And it is one thing when you do it in the dark, but then all of a sudden when the light is on inside of you, you can't get away from seeing it. You see it a different way. And it will replay and replay and replay. And you have to go over and over and over it. And when that is happening, you know, and you're going crazy, you just got to go in deeper and try and understand, you know, just look at it deeper, try and understand where you were coming from and release it. And don't forget, a lot of this stuff is attached to a lot of different past lives. It's not just in this life. And so the more you can open your mind and your spirit, the more you can, you know, attract or attach your pain where it goes. Like, it could bring up something that is like, where in the world did that come from? Like, is this something I dreamt one time and somehow it feels real or something? Those things are, you know, where you're releasing things from other lives, other existences. And so, you know, go through that process if it's something, you know, and it seems like a painful thing, like, you know, you're a young woman and you're out on this farm by yourself and you can't feed your child. You go out and drown them. And then you keep seeing like, why, you know, and because even in those kind of situations, if you're not doing it out of cruelty, you know, it's different. But those are the things where you have to go in and understand yourself. Like, where was I coming from? Why would I do something like that? Why did I feel so hopeless? Why did I feel like I wouldn't be able to find food? Why, you know, maybe you were sick and you were scared somebody was going to hurt your baby without you there to protect them. Like, it could be a lot of different things. And so, any of the things that come up that seem like strange, but you got to also remember you do have a cruel side. Like, you're not perfect. You have a light and a dark. So you can have some situations come up in your reviewing your past lives and stuff. When you're processing your pain, you could have something come up that where you are very, very cruel. You know, like maybe you beat your kids, maybe you beat your wife, maybe you killed somebody, you know, maybe you killed a bunch of people. Maybe you were in a war and you were forced to kill people. Maybe, you know, there's a lot of bad stuff that has happened, and it's all happened by the hands of all the different souls. Like, we're the players. We're the ones who go out, and we're the creators, the players. We're the ones who, you know, play out the roles. It's kind of like we play out these roles it's almost like these other higher beings. It isn't like for their entertainment, but it is like for this all-knowing knowledge. It's like for this knowledge to just, it's like a permeation of knowledge when we create and we learn from our experiences. And so it is just this ever moving expansion of knowledge. And so, see, that's why you don't want to be down on yourself whenever you're learning. You're expanding. You're expanding the universe. You're receiving applause from the watchers. They're like, oh, yes, wonderful job, wonderful job. You know, but no, really, they're watching just in awe of like seeing how things play out, seeing how we make choices, what drives our choices, why do we do the things we do, how do we fix things, how do we look at things, how do we hide from things. Like all of those things are being watched and logged, and it makes a difference to the universe. And so it's, I don't know, it's just important to just kind of like know your role of what you're doing here, not get all caught up in looking at it in any certain kind of way, to be a lot more free-minded, not so contained over what's right or what's wrong, even though we all have strict feelings about that, and there is a right and a wrong in the universal action, but it is like the not hurting and not taking, and because you can obviously hurt other souls, but all the things that you put out of balance, the things where, because it's not like you can do something and you're gonna be damned to hell, but you can definitely do stuff that puts things out of balance, causes pain, and you are the creator of that. So wherever that goes, you have to put it back in order. And that's why I've said, like, when grandparents and stuff, and they go to their life review, and then they see like something they did, something they said to their kids, and then how it spun and how it went, and the web that was wove from that expression, then that is when they want to go in and fix it. That's why you have them all around you, trying to talk to you, helping you through things, whispering and guiding you, because they're trying to put things back in order. And it makes more sense, like, especially if you're just coming out of some kind of raw dog reincarnation experience, and then you're going in and it's like, fuck, I can't do that again. I'm just gonna go sit over there and just talk to them while they're busy working. Like, so it makes sense why you have like a lot of ancestors and stuff around you, just because there is a sense of wanting to fix the things you've put out of balance, because it matters to you. It's not because God's sitting there saying, well, you can't come in until you fix it. No, it's because you, the soul, it matters to you. And that's what's so weird in this world, is all these people are cut off from what matters to them. Because when the light comes on, they're going to remember. They're going to remember all this shit that they've been doing. That it's against their very grain. It is feeding the dark. And so it's going to be very painful for a lot of people to reconnect with their soul. And it is very much of that, what is that? It's a song, I think. I used to love this song. I think it goes like with AA or something. I can't think of it though. Like, I can know it and see it, but I can't hear it good enough to say it. But it's that same sense of, facing yourself and just feeling, it's like bring you to your knees, to feel like bad about yourself, to see yourself, to see your truth, to see your true self, and how, you have to like fall to your knees. You have to let it go. You have to feel that sense of powerlessness, that, and then rebuilding back to yourself in the direction you want to go. I really wish I could think of that song. It seems like that they play it at a lot of funerals or something. I don't know, but it is it is the hardest thing to do, is to face yourself. And it is going to be wild to have so many people trying to face themselves all at the same time. And it's going to be all over the place. Like, there'll be some people who will be doing it. There'll be some people who, will be super depressed doing it. There'll be some people who will be so angry and just distract themselves with all the things going on. But that just prolongs it. The faster you get in and face yourself, the better. And the things you need to face are the things that are eating at you. Like something that will be eating at you. It just keeps coming up and coming up. And the universe will keep making sure, like, something will happen that will keep bringing it up and bringing it up. So something like that, then you got to go in deeper. Go in deeper into reflection and try and understand why you feel the way you feel, what caused it, where did it come from. And when you feel lost and you feel like you're just bashing your head against a wall and you don't know, why you do this, then I always put it out to the universe and ask them to show you. Tell them, bring it to you in a dream, bring it to you in a vision, make it clear to you. Make it clear to you what it is that you're working on, what it is you're trying to heal. And I mean, I think that they accommodate. Like, I've had success with that. And so, but then you got to remember to be open too. Like, you can't just wake up and go, oh, I just had a weird dream. Think about what the dream is communicating. Think about what it is it's trying to tell you. So you have to, participate in the communication. Like, you may not be in a place for them just to sit down and just, and give you the what's for. You may have to have it given to you in signs. You have to, it's like putting together the pieces of the puzzle to get you to where you want to be. And so, you may not be there to be in that place of understanding. You have more pieces to put together. So you got to stay present and wherever you are. Don't try and jump ahead to where you're not. Stay present to where you are. And if you're trying to communicate and you're asking for help and you're asking for visions and stuff, you're not getting it, then try other things. Like, ask for signs. You can ask for certain things. Like, I've had some crazy ones. Man, there was one where I had said something about, okay, if this is blah, 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 then today show me an eagle 3 times or something like that. And then, and there was a few hours later, I'm sitting there watching a movie, and then it came on and it was like, the eagle has landed. The eagle has landed. It kept saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. I was like, okay, I heard you. I get it. And so, when I didn't know that movie was going to say anything about that. And so they will communicate with you, but you have to open up your mind, open up your heart, open up, to what's outside of you that you can't see, instead of what's blocking your vision. What's blocking your vision is the artificial world that they created to block you from what's real. And so, but don't forget, we come here on purpose. Like, nobody drug us here. It's not a fucking vacuum. And so we all came here to experience whatever it is that we came to experience. I think a lot of us, we come in groups. We come with other friends. We come in and we create experiences. And so it's, there's a productive thing that goes on. And then plus you have like your relatives and dead friends and stuff that stick around you. You're never just alone. That's just so weird too. Oh yeah, because that movie I was watching, the Annie Potts one, and so it was like when the internet had first started, and they had all these pervs on there, and they were catching them in these sting operations, and I was just like, that's so weird. That started all that time ago, that they were already having that, and then it was like, but the rules and the laws just seemed to go to fit in to protect these people. And instead of making it safer for us, is like, that movie is old. It had to be like 30 years old or something. I don't know. It could have been like 20 years old. But still, like, you would think that there would be more, but it's not meant to protect us. It's meant to be like a funneling system, like I've said, like a siphoning system. You know, they want to find the little kids that, you know, are lonely and sad and aren't close to mommy and daddy, or maybe, you know, mom works too much and dad died, like whatever it is, that's what they're looking for. So everything is set up for them to, for the seekers, and then you know, the three-letter organizations are there to protect them. Even, you know, like what was the one? Because it was something, well, the FDA for sure. I mean, whoever's supposed to be monitoring our health and taking care, making sure that we're not getting poisoned and stuff, I mean, they dropped the ball. So, you know, all that kind of stuff is going to come out. Like, these organizations were just like companion organizations, like they were just an extension. It was just all a cover up, all a show to, I don't know, trick us. Just like, I don't remember if I already said this, is because whatever goes with the bank thing is, once the banks go, once the money thing, and they say that the loans, once you feel comfortable that you don't owe anything on your loan, like however it works, then cancel your insurance. Probably if everybody starts canceling, it'll probably be a part of them falling apart, but it's a scam. The whole thing, the whole insurance thing is a scam. Just think about how they make it a law and we have to get it. And right now they're just jacking the prices up like crazy. So anyways, that's where we take it back, is when we say no more. Stop. No, you don't have access to my account anymore. And that's going to be one thing too, is once they put through these other accounts, these quantum accounts start, that they won't be able to access them. They won't be able to get into them. But still, we have some more things to go through. I think it's going to be kind of similar, like what's gone on in some of the other countries. Like where they're going to have to, you know, this is going to go down and this is going to go down. And then, I don't know, you could look it up probably when Zimbabwe started having issues. As I swear to God, and it's like over by Spain. I swear it was like last year. I thought even in France is what it all was starting, was this interference with retirement and stuff. So these different places, when they start having issues with wages and banks and bank runs, and then the whatever I was just saying, the people with the retirement, when the retirement went away, then however all their money thing is set up. But there is a period of time, because I don't know, it is kind of curious as when it all started in Zimbabwe, because now that they're on it. And then and I'm pretty sure Russia, they're already on the gold standard. I'm pretty sure that all the places that are on the BRICS, they're already on the gold standard. And so we have to just go through this process. But the easiest way, you know, that they can pull the thing, especially because so much is built up in fear. Like, people are so scared of everything. So even I saw somebody do a video talking about Jetson cars, and that's going to be part of our 15-minute cities. It's like, no, we're not even going to be in the 15-minute cities. That is all part of the show. Is like to show us where we were headed, to wake us up, to get us to see. So we turn directions. It's like, hell no, we're not going that way. And but that doesn't mean that it's not going to keep being a threat, especially because there's so many people that haven't even woke up yet. But that we're not going into 15-minute cities, but we are going to go into hover cars. Like, we are going to go. There's going to be some really cool things. There's going to be some like high-tech stuff. And but we're not going to be in 15-minute cities. We're going to freedom. This is a breaking free. This is, you know, this is the it's the freeing of consciousness. But consciousness has to face itself of why it was trapped, how it was trapped, and what decisions it made when it was trapped, and the things it did, and, you know, and who it hurt and stuff. So Those things all have to still go down. And that is what all this stuff that is going on is for. It's all about this awakening, all about getting people to think, to go through stuff, to wake up. And so anyways, like I don't know what's to come. Who knows what's to come today, tomorrow. I know what's going to go for me tomorrow. I'm going to first go down to the food bank early and get a bunch of food to get more stocked up, because I'm not going to be able to go for weeks. So I'm going to go, they've got dry beans and nuts and stuff. And so I'm going to go get some more of that stuff. Then I'm going to come home. I've got a pre-op appointment and then make a payment. And then I have another pre-op on Friday. The next week on Wednesday, make the final payment. Then the next Tuesday, that's it. Like, it's so close now. I'm so excited. So anyways, that's what my main focus is just focusing on those days, and all the time in between. It just like, I want it to go faster, faster. It's like when you want time to go fast, it's always like dragging. When you want it to go slow, it's like going as fast as it can. So anyways, but whatever goes on, like, don't get into kind of a thing like with so many of these people. Oh, see, nothing went on. Nothing's going to go on. All you guys are crazy. Shit is going to go on. There is going to be stuff that is going to go on. Even if there's not an earthquake right now, which I find are also very strange, is that their totality path is also goes right across the map, the Edgar Cayce map, the Doomsday map, the naval map. It goes right across where the water opens. And so the the Great Lakes and the Mississippi all become like a big combo, splits America into two different sides. And so that's to come. And who knows if that's what, this earthquake, like, who knows? Who knows? There was like people who have said, like in San Diego, or where was that? It wasn't San Diego. It was Southern California, though. It was, I think it was early this morning. And there was a loud, like, pop. And she said it wasn't like an earthquake. And that she went on next door and was checking, and everybody for miles could hear it and feel it. But it wasn't like an earthquake, but something weird, like underground. And so there's shifts going on. Like, this stuff is really going to happen. We're really going to have changes in the landmass and stuff. So don't go into this kind of lull yourself back into, oh, see, nothing's happening. There's nothing to worry about. No, I swear to God, that's where they want people. No, when you wake up, you start seeing, yeah, you go through some panic. Some people get stuck there, but, they have a valuable thing, a valuable role of their panic that's set in, to wake other people up. But you go through the waking up, realizing, seeing things, and rethinking things, looking at things differently, and healing and stuff is like what it is. Like, I mean, there's going to be a whole thing about these people waking up who have been so stuck in fear. That's going to be one thing too, especially because some of them are like all, think of themselves as Christians. So you guys are awfully stuck in fear for being so close to God and all. But anyways, everybody's own awakening. And it's your own personal business that you get to face. It's your own personal, and it's going to feel embarrassing. It's going to feel like everybody knows, everybody sees. And that's one thing too, is people are not going to be able to hide, because everybody will be able to see. People are going to be able to see right through people. Fakeness, phoniness, not being real is going to be just like, come on, what are you even doing? Don't, people are going to expect people to be real. And so the more you work on yourself, the more comfortable you will get being real. And that's going to be a big push, because people are going to be able to see just right through like your fakeness, your phoniness and stuff like that. So anyways, the more comfortable you get with you, the more comfortable that other people will be with you. But you're the one who has to get comfortable with you. See, that's the thing, is it's you. Everything is you. Everything that you think is someone else is you. It's like nobody is making you feel something. The something is in you. They're just going across your path to remind you that that feeling's inside of you so that you can pull it up and so you can release it. You can let it go. You can try and figure out like where's it come from. And so anyways, that's how I look at it. And so whatever goes on, don't think, oh, well, nothing happened today, so nothing's going to happen. No, whatever doesn't happen today only moves it to tomorrow. And if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it just moves it to the next day. It's like up ahead of us. Until it happens, it's just ahead. And we don't know exactly what it is going to be, how it's going to play out, but there's going to be a lot of, crazy shit that's going to go on. There's going to be huge, huge earthquakes. There's going to be volcanoes. There's going to be more storms. There's going to be tons of shift. And it's all, and the whole time, the most productive thing you can do for yourself is just keep working on you, keep working on you, and just keep remembering everything's temporary, and anything you lose will come back to you. This is a shifting in priorities, a shifting in things that are good for you. And so it's a lot of letting go of things. So it's a lot of moving and going in a better direction, because most of us were all going into, we just weren't taking good care of ourselves. We weren't living our best lives. And so this is moving us into that, and moving into that. It puts everybody on this more positive timeline, but you have to do the work to get there. Like, it just is just the way it is. Like, the universe is not going to face you for you, and then you don't have to face yourself. It can't be done. You have to face you, and you have to forgive yourself. You have to be lenient with yourself. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to find all of these things in your reserve to give to yourself, because then you start finding these tools that you can give to other people. Compassion and caring, and when you realize you don't want to be judged, then why are you going to go around judging other people? And I'm not talking about noticing that somebody's doing something or realizing. It is to think of people on the terms of good and bad. They're a good person, they're a bad person. They did this, so they're a bad person. They did this, so they're a good person. No, everybody's a combo. Everybody's a combo meal. Nobody's got just one or the other. And some people show one side, and they don't know how to find balance. This is a time of finding balance, of waking up to the other side of yourself and seeing it's in there. And there's some people who are, really dark energy, and they don't want to wake up to the light. They don't want to see themselves in that way. And that's going to hurt, because there's no getting away from it. And, even if you try to do yourself in, unless that's the way you were going to go, and you're going to still go face it, you're still going to go to your life review, and then you're going to have to face like your escapism techniques. But you can't get away from the facing yourself, no matter what. And you got to remember, this stuff is coming up. It's to be cleansed, to be healed, to be let go of. So distracting yourself, hiding, pretending like it'll go away, blaming others for how you feel is just not going to be productive in being able to move forward. And, it's not like you have to. People can, hold themselves back. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be held back in hell, or you're never going to get out of the game, or any of that stuff. Like, the game is ending. So, you'll just go back home or whatever. But yeah, this game is ending. It's a new game is beginning. But the new game is like a level up. It's like you have to raise your vibration. You have to level up. You have to, perform at your peak in order to play in the new game. So it is, this is the mastery, so that you can get into the new game. Otherwise, yeah, you just go home or go somewhere else, go to another game. It's on your level. Like, really. But anyways, but this game, yeah, is leveling up. And I think most of the souls here are here because they believe that they can level up. And so they're all going to be working on themselves. But it is still, it's going to be a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing, trying to figure it out. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, are lost. They're lost when it comes to all this stuff. They're lost when it comes to spirituality. They're lost when it comes to supernatural. They're lost when it comes to emotions. They're just lost, you know, without someone telling them where to be and what to do and how to look at things. And that has been such a big part. But God, just think of like the breaking free from such mind control, to get a look at the world the way you want to look at it, to get to see it through your own eyes for the first time, and not through the eyes that were created for biases and division. So, you know, it's a really beautiful experience. And, you know, it's, you know, facing yourself is hard, but it is so cleansing. It is the baptism of the soul. It is the cleansing, is the releasing of all of who you were. But you have to see who you were. You can't hide from it. You got to see it. How can you release it if you're not willing to look at it? So, and you got to remember, when you're looking at it, you got to remember to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.